Okay. Hello, Internet. I'm Joe.
I'm Eric, and you're listening to Just Cool Enough, and Ike will be here whenever the fuck he gets here, I
Yeah.
guess.
Apparently, he's optional now, or he's just like a part timer. He's been reduced to a co-op or an intern.
Yeah,
He's
but that's okay, because I got this sweet little cup I got at Disneyland last week when I wasn't on the show. It's Chewbacca.
That's great. That's a really cool cup. Does it make any noises or anything?
Um, I mean,
Okay, so
when it
doesn't make
opens
any
and closes.
So for all of our audio listeners out there, it's a Chewbacca cup. Oh my gosh,
I'm
Ike is on the
drinking-
show. He's
I'm
here
drinking-
right now.
Yeah, for those of you in the audio listeners, I'm drinking Diet Cream Soda out of Chewbacca's severed head.
Yeah, that's kind of sad. You know,
Yeah.
why not? I would rather have like a bandolier that I can keep gum in or something. Hey, Ike, well, welcome to the show. Welcome to Just Cool
Thank you for having me, guys. I'm glad to be here. It's been a while.
It has been a while. It's been a whole week since Eric's been. It's been 2 weeks since Eric's been on the show. You know, normally we come up with clever excuses like I'm going to Australia or Germany or I'm moving, but you're just like straight up like, oh, I'm just going to Disneyland. Like, what makes Disneyland so much more important than the show?
Because I haven't been since last year, and also my cousin and her kids and grandkids were down, and we haven't seen them since we moved to Los Angeles 5 years ago. It's been a while, so it was like this whole we were meeting family there, like, and that was the day we would go.
Stuff.
Yeah.
It's so important for me to connect with my long-lost relatives in Disneyland.
Hey, fuck you! You're always like, I can't do this because a bunch of dudes from Germany need to go to a strip club.
Hey,
I
never said
to a
that.
strip club. You never said it, but that's what you did. You're like, I got clients I got to take care of at a strip club. I gotta.
This is not the 50s. This isn't how business gets done nowadays. We're
Like,
classy gentlemen.
Clients at the strip club.
You know what? Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Ike's week. Ike, how was your week?
I'm doing well. I was at the gym, so that's why I apologize for being a little late. I had to, get some steps in. I was a little bit behind today. Plus, I had to give Tish something to work towards since he was, blew me out of the water at the end of yesterday, and now he's struggling to stay ahead of me.
Oh my gosh, Ike is a maniac.
Like I was like 700 steps behind him, and now all of a sudden I'm watching right now as his steps are steadily climbing.
Yeah,
so
that's
I think
because Joe told him about it before the show started.
Why did you rat me out? Why would you rat me out?
Wow. All right.
I'm just saying, we had one live listener, and then Joe was like, "Oh, Ike's about to be a Tish," and then a Tish was like, "Fuck that," and then a Tish left to go do steps.
We had one live listener in the chat room, and then I said that, and then that's what happened. And then, oh yeah, Brady's in the competition too. So now everybody's just gonna go leave and go do Fitbit stuff, and then we have no live listeners. Why are you promoting this stuff, Ike?
Speaking of promoting things really quickly, I want to give a shout out to whoever the student is that knows Mr. Ken Magno as his or her teacher. Apparently, one of my friends from college who I graduated with, he would just Facebook message me and said he wanted to tell me that he found out one of his students is a huge fan of Just Cool Enough. So either this person doesn't actually exist, and he's making it up, or maybe the student goes, "Hey, they said something about me on a radio show."
No, I doubt.
I don't know. I mean,
I think it's
huge
fake,
fan. That's
the words he used. Is a huge Just Cool Enough fan.
Wow, that's
You
great.
use that words and not like one of my students accidentally downloaded your podcast when he's trying to listen to something better.
He accidentally gave it a 5-star review.
Accidentally emailed us with questions.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, Eric, did you want to cover your week a little bit more? You had a little thing going on.
I didn't do a lot. I went to Disneyland Wednesday. Friday, I flew to New York to be in the wedding party of one of my best friend's weddings. So nothing important happened in my life.
Wait, I didn't know you were leaving your little bubble of insanity, which is the Los Angeles and Hollywood area. What?
Yeah, my friend of the show, Eric Sanborn, the Eric from WoW Radio Days, got married to his girlfriend on Saturday. So
now wife.
Yeah, now wife. And so and they had their wedding in New York because they're assholes. So yeah, so Friday evening, I took a shuttle to LAX, and then took the red eye out to upstate New York, and I went to his wedding. I felt very adult because this is my first like solo trip. I rented a car, which I've never done before, I drove around a little bit, and then like we did all the wedding stuff. We got photos taken, which I'm sure those will get posted at some point, and then like I was, I missed the rehearsal dinner, which sucked, but all I did was stand there and then like walk out with 2 bridesmaids, so it wasn't like I needed to rehearse.
You stood up in this wedding?
Yeah, I was part of the wedding party.
You're the man. You were a man, like not,
yeah. I was
the best man.
No, I wasn't the best man. That was Kyle.
He was a man.
You were just a man.
The wedding party was Kyle McCarley and Dustin Hendrickson, who have both been on this show, the other 2 Donut Boys, and me. We were the wedding party for the groom, and it was great. Like we stood there, and then like went through the ceremony, and then afterwards, it was basically a big old party, the reception at the end, and it was fun. I was running on very little sleep because I thought I'll sleep on the plane, and then I didn't get a lot of sleep, so that was interesting, but it was a really good time. I ate a bunch of
you're dead.
It was a very hipster wedding. Instead of cake, there was like a candy bar, and like there was like pizza, and like just but fun.
So like you fly all the way to New York for his wedding? No, I see how it is. When I tell Sarah that she's gonna be so mad, she's gonna be like, oh, okay, oh, yeah, see, you like that?
For those people who
She's
are
not having
you just see this hand come out from behind Joe and give a thumbs down.
My live listening audience.
In my defense,
that you scared away, you fat bastard.
In my defense, when Eric sent me the save the date, I didn't have a job, and also his was a wedding. You guys were already married. You got married in secret. Yours was just
if you had gone to Joe's, you wouldn't have had a job either. So I don't understand what the problem is.
Right, exactly. Who's more important? Your job that you had to save up money to take your mom to France, or my wedding? My wedding party.
Yeah,
just the party part.
Yeah, just the party 6 months after your wedding.
If you would have been here, we would have done a fake officiated thing. It would have been a great thing. I mean, now we have to wait 10 years. Oh yeah, by the way, it was a year of marriage like this week.
I know.
Because we got married on the 5th. Yeah, we got married on the 15th. So that
and yesterday was like 4 or 5 years since we took you to a gay bar. It
was so crazy. I watched that. I was talking.
Important life events have happened around the same week throughout time.
The most risque picture of the night popped up in my Facebook feed. I was like, oh dear. I was in a meeting and just kind of perusing Facebook. I'm like, what? What is this? And I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. And it was right after I got done telling people that I just did my first year anniversary, and then this picture is up in my Facebook feed, like, hey, nice anniversary, asshole. I'm like, oh, God.
Yeah.
So.
The wedding was fun. Renting a car was fun. Upstate New York is a really beautiful place. I didn't realize it was, like, because I'm not from the East Coast, I didn't realize in the middle of goddamn May it would be freezing. I was walking around in a T-shirt on Sunday, and I was just freezing my balls off.
It's actually been unseasonably cold over that way on this whole coast over here. Like what? So this is the first time that you've been on the East Coast?
When I was in junior high, I went through Washington D.C. and Virginia and that sort of area, but I've never been to New York State, and it sucked because I was only there for basically overnight. I was there for 24 hours, and it was mostly entirely in upstate New York. And then on the way home, I flew because, the way these fucking packages work, I had to fly from Albany to Newark and then Newark to LAX, which Newark is in New Jersey, and I was like, it's like a 30-minute flight and then a 6-hour flight. But what I didn't realize is when I was flying into Newark that I would see the island of Manhattan and the Statue of Liberty from the air, and I was like, oh, God damn it. I didn't realize I would see all, like, now I wish I was staying because I've never been there before. It's the only time I've seen the Statue of Liberty in real life, and it was a couple of miles away from an airplane.
I mean, I'll do a New York meetup. I've never been over that way.
Well, I don't have the money to go to New York.
Why not?
I'm just saying, like,
you just went to New York. How do you not have money?
Because I just went to New York.
Okay.
All right, we need to start a just cool enough fundraiser. Get Eric to New York.
Okay, this time we're gonna do it the real way though. We're gonna do the fundraisers like they used to do in middle school and stuff. We gotta hook up with one of those companies where like we win different prizes in different levels if you sell enough. So like we're gonna sell shitty little goods. And then we're gonna go to all of our mom and dad's friends and be like, "Hey, Just Cool Enough's doing a fundraiser," and I was just hoping that
was the weirdest thing. I remember those school fundraisers. Like, I hate talking to people or awkward situations, but for some reason, when like school magazine sale was going on, I would go from door to door in parts of my town that I'd never been to in my life before, knocking on doors trying to sell magazines. And then I think back, I was like, How did I do that? I hate talking to people I know in real life.
If you sell 450 magazines, you can get a scooter.
Yeah.
Right, and or
450,000 magazines rather.
Yeah, or you know, like the first place prize at my school was like a 13-inch Sanyo TV with like a tape deck in it. You're like, oh shit, I can play Nintendo in my room. It would be amazing. I mean, I came from a household with
then everyone
one
talks
TV.
about it, but nobody ever gets it. They all get like a ball, a rubber ball.
Dude, I still remember the girl's name who won it. I was like, holy shit, she cracked the code. How did she do it? You know, I was like pumping her for information. I'm like, what? How did you do this? Hey, where did you go? Where were you sitting? She's like, oh, I just let my mom take it to her work, and like 800 people bought things. I'm like, well, that's great. My mom stays at home. She can't do anything like that. I think I tried to encourage.
She doesn't have a job.
I think actually after that I tried to encourage my mom to go get a job.
Can you get a job just so you can sell my useless shit at work?
Hey, Ma, if you really want to help me as a child, how about you go sell this like as a full-time job? Just sell sell the fundraiser.
Listen, there's at least 8 hours I'm at school and I can't be doing this. Can you just use this as your job? I'll tell you what, I'll let you use the scooter or the TV on the weekend.
Whatever we win, Mom.
I just want bragging rights.
On the weekends, if I don't have friends over playing Nintendo.
In my room.
Sweet ass TV. You could use the scooter when I'm playing Nintendo on my cool TV. Thanks.
Well, I started a more interesting fundraiser at school because I'm trying to raise money for the art department. I started Penny Wars. You guys familiar with this?
Well, yeah, I remember the term, but I don't know what it is. Please explain.
So we have advisories in my school where every in the morning all the kids go to their advisories. It's broken up into 14 different teachers with like anywhere between 7 and 14 kids per advisory. So I have tennis ball holder thingies. You know, I cut the slit in the top, put an advisory name on it, and if you put a penny in your advisory, you got 1 point. But if you put 5 pennies in, you have 5 points. But if somebody else comes along and puts a nickel in, it counts against those 5 pennies, so you have 0.
Oh, cool.
So it's basically a fundraiser geared on hatred, because people can put pennies, they put quarters, dollar bills. I had somebody shove a 5 in somebody's today, so that's 500 pennies that get subtracted.
How much to make you win, though?
But so that's the thing is you just have to have the most positive points in the end. There isn't a top dollar like the first person reached $20. So I had kids come in yesterday for one advisory with like a backpack a quarter of the way full of pennies, which was like on my desk, just like dumped all these pennies out. So I had to take it at corn.
Where'd you get these? I robbed a bank. He just like, dude, you took it too far. He's like, I robbed a liquor store and then I went to the bank.
But even the teachers are
just kept taking all the pennies.
They're like, oh, I'm gonna go put $20 in somebody's jar. Yeah. I'm gonna go put. I'm like, okay, go for it.
Henry. God, Henry's a little shit. I'm putting $300 in his just because I fucking hate that kid.
Yeah. So Henry Tomlinson. Screw that guy.
The winning advisory gets to choose what color I dye my hair for the last 2 weeks of school, up to 2 colors, because I don't want to make it too expensive for myself. So
Mr. Dodge is the coolest.
There's 5 weeks left of school, so 3 weeks from now, just cool enough, I'll probably have hair that's dyed 2 different colors.
Well, I mean, you went full on creep mode when you went bald like 2 months ago, right?
Yeah, well, I had to go Master Roshi for that. So
Oh yeah, that was great. You did a great Roshi. But so now you're gonna dye your hair like you do though. You do this almost
I
every year. It's
usually
like
do
a
every year, but
tradition.
in the past, it's always been like my best behaved art class because
Uh-huh.
I saw all the seventh graders, all the eighth graders, all the sixth graders, but I don't see everyone in the school. So I figured this is a good way to raise money for the art program, and I was going to do it anyway because I like to do it, and it's a good way to get people involved and stuff.
That's really cool.
So I'm gonna be as skinny as a rail and hair dyed two different colors.
Everybody's gonna take you seriously. Like whatever. I got a job and I'm off for the summer. See ya. Like what else are you supposed to do? You got it all.
What about your
No,
week,
do
Joe?
you ever-
I've heard Eric's week. You've heard a little bit about my week. I've just been trying to get fit. What
Well,
about
I'm
your-
glad you asked. The Ford Fiesta, I was surprisingly enjoyed that vehicle. I mean,
Was it
I-
a 3-cylinder or a 4-cylinder?
I don't fucking know. It had 4 doors, and I could Bluetooth my phone in. Like, how the fuck do I know cylinders? I don't
Dude,
give a
you
shit.
can go buy a used Ford Fiesta for like $5,500 to $6,000.
Honestly, I don't think I would keep it.
I know a
it was
guy who-
okay. I don't think I would buy a Fiesta if I was looking for a car.
I know a guy who was selling his convertible.
Why are you guys talking about? Don't like. Why you got to bring up these points
Is
of
that painful?
contention?
Oh yeah,
What do you mean? I thought you sold it.
My sister asked about that. She was like, wait, Joe's selling all his cars or something like that. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't pay attention
I don't
to Joe's
give a
life.
shit about it.
Yeah.
So
My sister
actually-
cares more about your life than I do. Is what I'm saying.
Well, she gives much better hugs than you. So
Yeah.
so there.
And she'd even
Hope
show
that
up to
hurt.
Joe's wedding reception. She just never.
No,
I
got
bet you she would have.
I don't deny that. Like she's arguably a better person than I am. I mean, that's not saying a whole lot. Yeah.
Arguably a better person than you. You're all right. You're all right. I like doing the show with you and stuff. Yeah. So so a while back I bought a 2006 BMW convertible like 4 years ago when I got my first like awesome job, right? And I had my fun with it, so I decided to sell it, especially since I don't have a garage or a house at the moment. So having 4 different cars is really tough, as you could imagine. So yeah, sold the car, and everybody, it's like, I think...
Yeah, I'm sure Eric can totally imagine having 4 cars would be tough, right, Eric?
Well, I can imagine somewhat because the asshole who parks next to us decided that he would not only be like over the line, but hit tires complete like over the because the parking space, he says it's like 2 lines, and sometimes he's like in between the lines. They're like, all right, asshole, but he had like tires all the way over. I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna get my car in?
That is not allowed. That is not
Yeah.
allowed. I did that to somebody when I was driving my Dodge Diplomat. There's pictures of it on the internet somewhere. Somebody parked like an asshole, so I parked right next to them, and basically they couldn't get into their car. We were in a parking garage, and there was a beam on one side where they wouldn't be able to open their door, and they parked like an asshole, so I just parked right next to them. I'm like, my car cost me $1,300. It's a piece of shit. It's rusted, like whatever.
You can hit my 2001 Chevy Cavalier. Like, oh no.
Yeah, it's like what
the side that I didn't scrape by hitting a wall a couple of months ago anyways.
But what I did after I did that, because I was just like feeling like, what kind of person parks like this? You know, what a jerk. After I did that, I took a picture of their license plate just in case they did like some like horrific damage, like they decided to like pour gas all over my car and burn it to the ground or something. Just so it's like some sort of recourse. But I was kind of disappointed. I came back to the car and just they weren't even there. There wasn't anything going on. I'm like, I guess I'll just drive away now. So I kind of like drove slow. I'm like, maybe the person will come out and I could yell. I'm like, hey! But I don't know how to insult people while driving. I'm really bad at it. I'm creative, but bad at it.
Yeah.
Like, way to go, parking jerk! You're jerk. I don't like you. Go bye. Have a nice day. I'm very bad at assaulting people with my vocals.
Anyway, you were saying also, to go back to before I derailed the whole thing, that you were selling your car, something to do with your car.
Yeah. So yeah, I sold.
So
sold the
anyways,
BMW.
back to my...
I got like when I had a bunch of people that were interested in it, and it was weird selling this one. I'm used to selling cars and kind of trading them out, but when I sold this one, I got like a little lump in my throat. I was like, oh man, oh that's weird. I had these feels. I'm like, why did I have these feels? And the reason is because this was like the dream car that when I was still like high school aged, I went into a BMW dealership and I was like, I'm gonna get one of these one day. And so, goals accomplished, did it. And I've done everything I could with the car. I've driven as fast as it will go, and I took it to the limits of my driving abilities. And I've been on tracks with Ferraris, Porsches, and Lamborghinis, and just done everything the car's gonna do. I did it. So there wasn't anything left for me to do with it, and it's just kind of sitting there. So decided to sell it. But yeah, so I got choked up over just this physical thing that means nothing. But after thinking about it, I was like, well, it didn't mean anything to me. It actually meant a lot because it was like a big goal of my life that I wanted this material thing, right? Like, and it just was a whole weird, because I'm not in that place anymore. I don't really care about the stuff like I did when I bought the car. So 4 years go by and things change, and you change as a person and your values change, and now I want to travel a lot. I want to see a bunch of stuff, which is why I'm in a 1-bedroom apartment in downtown Ann Arbor, and right in the middle of the city, seeing stuff, doing things. So it signified a big change, and I don't know. What do you guys think? I didn't make a question, but what do you think? You guys are like my
They
psychologists.
get choked up over like a car.
Yeah.
Normally, I'd say that's weird, and I don't understand. But I know cars for you are important, and you like them, so it makes sense.
Yeah, just to be clear, I wasn't like crying or anything. It was just like I felt the lump in my throat.
You
like,
were
if
on the
you
inside.
Yeah, like I felt the lump in my throat. I was like, oh,
I'm sure
wow.
that's not cancer.
I hope not, but I mean, if it is, then I've lived fast and hard, put it away wet, so whatever. I mean, I'll check that lump out later. Hey, yeah, but that feeling I had towards that vehicle, I won't have again unless I drive a Ferrari F40. I'm never gonna have that connection because I just don't have that material want for things anymore. Not like that, not a high ticket item. I want fun little cool cars, but it just I think it's because I'm getting older. I'm just like, nah, whatever. Things are things. Do you guys go through this, or am I just like out on my own little island here?
I mean, I would understand a little bit. Like, I've never had like my own car. Every car, like even the cars that have been mine. Like in high school, I had my parents' Astro van, which was mine because I didn't drive it, but it wasn't my car. And like the car I'm driving now it's kind of mine. I drive it more than anyone else, but it's still not my car. And I'm sure if I had like my car, like whenever I get like my first car, that'll be a big deal. And I've thought about that, like what my first car would be and what I'm.
Whoa, no, he froze in the middle of this
I'm
thing.
here. I'm here.
Okay, good.
I'm not really about the material things. I'm with you, Joe. Like material things do it for me. I've evolved beyond that.
So Ike has what are you holding in your hands?
Nothing. Nothing material or anything like
that. Your tchotchkes?
Yeah, these are my desk tchotchkes. My BB-8 that I don't play with.
Oh God, it's even better when you hit the microphone.
Yeah, I know, right?
What is
I have this gun, steampunk gun. Yeah.
This is just in arm's reach. You
Some
didn't even
alien stuff, an alien bobblehead. I got some Joker, wooden Joker. He sits on my desk. Got a Terminator head.
Okay, so I get your point. So like things are cool.
I enjoy stupid shit that costs way too much.
Well, yeah. I mean, everybody has their vices. Mine happened.
I don't know if you've seen this behind me ever, but yeah. I think it's a standing testament to the fact that I like to burn money for stupid shit.
Pictured behind Ike is a tower of pop vinyls. That was my behind Ike voice.
I appreciate
anyway,
that.
Guys, did you know that our show is brought to you each week by ShoutEngine.com? Get a podcast going for free in under 5 minutes with ShoutEngine.com. And also, we extend our gratitude over to Alpha Geek Radio for hosting our live chat room. And also, our live streaming abilities are further enhanced because you can watch us on Roku, PSP, GameCube. Yeah, you can't watch this on GameCube. But anyway, if you want to watch the show live, you can each week here at 6:30 p.m. It's at justcoolenough.com/live. So go check that out. Join the live chat room. Atish says skip the Statue of Liberty. It's not worth it. Apparently someone doesn't like freedom. I mean, like, I guess you kind of get the gist of it from like far away, though. Like, Eric,
Yeah,
you feel like you need to like, get right up next to it, touch the skirt.
I don't think I would go straight up to it and be like, oh, I gotta get a picture. But like, you know, it's like the Hollywood sign. You see it from afar.
Yeah, you take a picture of it, and then you're right next to it, and you're like, oh my god, I should have taken a picture of it from here, but there's no light.
Mm-hmm.
At the observatory. What the hell? What did Eric tell
It was
me
more
about
of
this?
it was a demarcation thing. Like I was flying in, and I was like, "What's that green thing in the water?" Oh, the Statue of Liberty. Yep, that. And there's the Freedom Tower. Fuck. I wish I was there. It's not that far away. I could be there in 15 minutes if I had a car.
Could you though? Like, isn't there traffic crazy?
I mean, I'm sure it was. Like, I don't know how travel. It just felt really close to Newark Airport. I didn't think I would see it from the tarmac.
That's really cool. Have you been over to New York?
Have I? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been several times with the band back in high school. Never seen the Statue of Liberty, but I've been in, like, Broadway.
I feel like the Statue of Liberty is one of those things you can observe from far and just be like, yeah, pretty cool.
I've seen it in one of those Allstate commercials or whatever. It's good enough.
Yeah. Like I would see it from like across the water or something. I'm not gonna go to the actual Ellis Island. I don't think. But I've never been to the city.
You've been to the Eiffel Tower. What do you think about that? Is that like something you could see from afar, or is that something you got?
Yeah, I mean, you can see the Eiffel Tower from afar, and it's still beautiful from afar, especially at night. But it's something about getting to it during the day and seeing the scale of it. Like
right.
it is bigger than you think it is. Like you don't
kind of
imagine.
Like,
what?
No, I was gonna say it's kind of weird that like I kind of get the Statue of Liberty. I don't feel like I need to go and like touch it. But
Yeah.
for the Eiffel Tower in Paris, like I wanted to be close to that, and I just think that's really funky that that's the way my brain's set up.
But I wonder if it's kind of like, I mean, I know you can't just travel there from Michigan, but it's kind of like, yeah, it's at home. Like I could go there whenever I wanted to, but like, how
Yeah, it's
often are you gonna
probably
get a
something
chance
like
to
that.
see the Eiffel Tower? That kind of
Right? Yeah.
like. I mean, granted, you
But
can't
also,
just
like-
necessarily hop over to New York whenever you want, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I have my whole life. I could hop over to New York. It's pretty easy. Eiffel
Right.
Tower.
I'll drive an RV.
But also, the Eiffel Tower is in the middle of a city. Like, you can walk to it easily. There's a train that takes you right there. Whereas the Statue of Liberty is on a tiny little rock island, barely big enough to support it in the middle of the Hudson River.
Yeah, just like Liberty City from Grand Theft Auto. It's the
Exactly
same, it's just
like
that. Yeah.
And also, if you can get inside, there is a heart chain to it.
It's the same thing. There's a lot of realism there. A lot of realism. I brought a story in. If you guys would.
Well, we do
indulge
have an
me for a
email.
moment. Oh,
We
we
do.
Ike, read the email, man.
This is from
What are
our
you doing?
longtime listener, Austin. He says, he gave us a bunch of CD keys for different shit. So he said, hey,
Yay!
guys,
Thank
I've
you,
been meaning
Austin.
to write y'all for a while, and now I have a chance. I also added a few game, in parentheses said, probably shitty like Joe's attendance to the show. But hey, it's free, and free is free. But I do have some questions, so I will list them below. So the first question's for Joe. He says, why won't you sell me your damn Eve online account?
Austin, let me be honest here. I keep forgetting that you want to buy my damn Eve Live account. Also, I get a little choked up when I see it leaving, so, What's the next question?
The second question is to Eric. He says, Eric, how hard was it for you to write your book, and what helped you finish it?
Ooh, good question.
I've written 2 novels, and I've failed to write 3 others, I think. And I think it's hard because it's so daunting. It's such a long thing. You don't realize, like, whenever I start it, it takes me a while to like after the first few days, it makes me realize how massive 50,000 words is of a goal line. And what helps me the most is the deadline. Having the deadline of November 30th is or December 1st is when the novel is finished. I can't write any more after November, and it's just like so. It's like every day I have to write. You have to write like 106 or 1,667 words a day, which is not that much in the grand scheme of things, but it's just like every day you have to do it. Every day. It's like every day you wake up and write at least this much, and it's just this building, and you have to like follow the deadline and like keep yourself at pace, and just it's like a marathon. Just keep going and keep going and keep your pace going, and deadlines are the best motivator for me. If I don't have deadlines, then it's like, well, I can put it off.
I think deadlines are a good motivator for pretty much anybody. Like you gotta set a deadline, even if it's not attainable, and you try for it. It's always helpful to have that, because if you have an undefined goal, it's just it's hard to hit because you don't know what you're aiming for.
Yeah, because the novel I tried to write last year, I was like halfway through the story I'd planned out, and only a quarter of the way through what I needed to write to accomplish what I was going for. And I was just like, I don't like what I'm doing with this story. Like, I'm not happy with this work. And it's not like some of the other times where it's like, I don't know, just keep writing. And maybe I should have just kept writing, but it was just this whole thing of like, I like the concepts I walked in with this, and I feel like I'm not utilizing them enough, and I don't think I have the capability to turn this around at this moment. So I thought, well, I kind of want to just start over with this and take these concepts and expand them and start over, and I'll do that after November. And here it is May, and I have not written any of that.
Why not just set a deadline for you, like, right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's... Also, I want to be better prepared for this. So, yeah, it's just preparedness and deadlines. Deadlines are what really keeps me going. And
when you're doing a creative thing, and like I'm sure you could add to this too.
I don't do anything creative.
when you're in the middle of the process and you're kind of consumed by it, it's easy, but then you get kind of writer's block, or I don't know if there's painter's block or artist block or whatever, but you kind of, when you reach that point and you know you're done, what do you do to kind of reinvigorate
You're never
yourself?
finished. Art is never finished. It's always abandoned.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's to answer Ike's question, because I'm an asshole. It's not always the deadline. Also, it's like the peer thing. That's why I think I like NaNoWriMo, because it's like there's a deadline, but there's also other people involved that like are seeing like the same with my exercising. I've been running every morning, not because I just decide to do that, but also there's a peer aspect of it, of like I've told many people that I do this, and I've talked about it with people. So now it's like I want to keep going because I don't want to disappoint these people that are entirely indifferent to my efforts.
Yeah, that's right. Social pressure is a bitch. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But it always can be motivating. That's good. Ike, there's a question for you here on this email that Austin sent in.
There is.
And
so
it
I guess
says,
I won't answer the question that you posed to me, because I'll just skip it since Eric answered for me. It says, you can read it if you want. Since
I was gonna, because it's like it's to you, so it's weird if you ask and read your own question. And the third question for Ike says, Ike, art, price. There, that was my.
I'll answer this for Ike. Art is inherently valueless unless you find value in it. Like a piece of art is only worth it if you're willing to pay for it.
Nice, well put.
Thank you.
That will be $5. Ike, he's asking you for art, and what's your price?
Well, art, yes. Price, it depends on what you want. I know that I've made a piece for Austin, I believe, before. And, yeah, I mean, it depends on what you want. I've found some really cool materials recently that can get kind of pricey, but printing some of the pictures I've been making on aluminum plates
Ooh, cool.
They can be hung outside or inside. They're really cool. They're really shiny, but they're about $140 for one print, and they're about 12 by 12 inches. So they're pretty big, and they can be hung on a wall or outside. But they're really cool and totally worth it. I got 2 of them for my own apartment.
That's really cool. And are you printing your own pieces on the aluminum?
Yeah. I've been making my own and then printing them out. And I was thinking about hanging them at school, but I kind of like them, even though they don't quite go with my decor here in my house. But I wanted to test out, and I've been pretty happy.
The pop vinyl decor.
Yeah,
that aluminum won't mix in with all that vinyl.
No, they don't go together.
They don't. It's a well-known styling fact. I saw it on HGTV. You can't mix aluminum and vinyl like that. Where do you print this aluminum stuff at? Is it like a secret guy that you don't want to talk about, or what?
No, there's actually a company and app that I use that I print
awesome.
them through. So you can get it on there, and you can get it on Canvas or things like that.
There are plenty of printing websites if you just look them up.
I haven't seen printing in aluminum.
I've been thinking about doing some scrolls. Oh, nice.
Did you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my old team, Streets. There's a whole thing that they wanted like totems for the teams, for each of the house teams in the green room. So I thought, hey, we're Streets. We already have like a street sign in our logo. I don't know if you can kind of see it's in the back way back there, but like the poster I made a street sign in Photoshop for the poster, and I thought, well, I'll just get that printed as an actual street sign, which was easy. I just found a website where you can print, and they printed a bunch of signs, and I was like, okay, I need a street sign that says Streets and has the Nerdist logo, and it was like $30.
Can you just like get a bunch of those street signs and repurpose the actual street signs? You just rename streets in your city. Just switch the numbers around from 11th to like 12th and just screw people up.
You could. I'm sure that's incredibly illegal, and I wouldn't do it, but you are free to do it.
I mean, like...
We're not suggesting other people go out and do it. That's
I think that's a terrible idea.
I just never considered printing out the street signs, and I'm thinking of what would I do if I had that ability and I was 12
years old? You do have that ability. You just go on the internet and print out street signs.
Well, I mean, I don't want to get into trouble. What are you, crazy? I don't want to get in trouble.
I didn't say that you had to put them up. You just said, what if I had the ability to print street signs? You do, in fact, have that ability.
You're right.
I do. I did. It was $30. It's a metal street sign. It was very good quality. I was very happy with it.
I'm gonna make a street. I feel like that cat meme. Like, I need to buy a boat. Like, I should get a street sign. This is a great idea. Good idea, guys. Nice. I want one that says stop.
To finalize Austin's question in terms of price was the second question. Contact me with what you're thinking about, and we can talk.
Make sure you put enough in there so Just Cool Enough gets a cut, Ike.
I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, it is, Eric. It's the thing if we make it a thing.
Well, Eric's my art manager. That's why he can speak for me. He gets a cut.
I'll take this question.
Yeah, you wanted to go to a good cause, not Disneyland. So I saw a story this week that kind of made me scared and excited at the same time. And it was on The Verge. And it's about how Hyundai's heavy industry came out with a wearable robot that turns you into a mech pilot. This story will link.
So I think we need to link this to Christina because she had an amazing side note car.
Oh my god!
Our friend Christina, who works at Blizzard, redid her car in a whole diva out rig. It looks amazing. I want one.
Oh my god! Yeah, she needs this. She needs this, and she could be basically B-Diva. Oh my gosh. We got to put pictures of that car on our website. It got retweeted, picked up by Blizzard Entertainment, and like hearted and retweeted.
Yep, thousands of just Joe pausing.
Oh, is it? Because I have not brought it up so much because I can't tell if it's him or it's me. So I've been very nervous.
Well, at one point you did, and then this time it's Joe.
Okay.
And I'm sure at some point in the next 9 minutes, maybe 19 minutes rather, I'm sure I'll crash.
Yeah, because you're kind of like haven't been fantastic this whole time on my end, and Joe's been bad. So it's been weird. And I don't even know if we're still live, because when he usually disappears...
It says live in the corner by you.
Yeah, but it might disappear in a second.
That's true.
Yeah. So,
Maybe
yeah,
she
but
keep going
Christina...
under the guise, yeah.
Yeah, unless... but Christina got her car, she got a bunch of decals and custom shit done to her car, and it looks awesome. Also, shout out to Jason, who's a friend of the show, who also works at Blizzard, a friend of ours, who messaged me, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry, I missed it. I missed the chance to get you your copy for Overwatch because I was in Korea." And he's like, "Forgive me." I was like, "Dude, I don't just expect free shit from you. Like, it's fine." And he's like, "But you should expect it." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "It'll be a few weeks late, but you're getting your copy." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks, buddy. Don't worry."
Tish let me know that we are in fact still live.
Okay.
He's
just saying that so that you're not stepping.
Yeah.
Because as long as we're live, I'm not out walking around. I thanked Christina for her help with that same kind of idea, with at least getting into the beta. I know she didn't offer me any free games, but still, no. My students at school have been like, "I got into the beta. I've been playing for like a month." I'm like, "Screw you! I've been playing since November, sucker."
Yeah, I've been playing since Friends and Family Alpha, biatch. Yeah, I feel bad because Joe was like, or Christina told us, like, "Hey, if you give me, I'll buy the copies for you if you give me the money." And then like a couple of weeks ago was like, "Oh man, Christina says any day now I'll get my key." I was like, "Oh, when do I get mine?" He's like, "Well, did you pay her?" I was like, "Well, you didn't tell me I had to." He's like, "Yeah, I did. I messaged you." I was like, "No, you didn't." And I checked my message, and he totally is like, "Send the PayPal here." So I've been, but as with everything always works out for me in the end because that's white privilege.
And while we wait for Joe to come back and share his story, I've been looking at getting new headphones because mine are USB and they're slowly. I mean, I've had them for 3 years, so the sound's okay, but they've been slowly falling apart. I saw the Razer Overwatch headset, and I'm kind of like thinking about it.
I mean, headphones have never been a huge thing for me. Like I remember I invested in like Skull Candy headphones and they were okay, but then like I stepped on them and broke them. And then like a year or two ago I got these guys, which I really love, these Star Wars headphones. Ooh. But they just like the plugs all fucked up, so it's always like sometimes it doesn't always like sound like one of the ears goes out and it's just annoying me and I fucking hated it. And then I was so pissed I bought a pair of like $5 headphones off at like Fry's Electronics, and those lasted me for years. And I was like, the quality's fine, but they're nigh on indestructible, and they lasted me for like nearly a goddamn decade. And then when I bought this computer, it came with these free headphones, and these are like the most comfortable headphones I've had in my life. Like, because normally, like if you wear them too long, they just hurt my ears, but these ones haven't. So like if and when these ones break down, I might just buy these ones again.
They look nice. They look comfortable.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are comfortable, Joe is back, and he was about to share with us his wearable robot prototype picture thing.
I was trying, but then I think maybe the robots were angry that I was releasing their technology. Anyway, it's called the Helix, or maybe Helix. I'm not sure, but basically it's an exoskeleton that goes over your body and turns you into a mech suit.
God, you can't pronounce anything. It's Helix. It's an exoskeleton. It's not an ecoskeleton. It's not made from the earth.
No, it's environmentally friendly. That's why it's an
okay. No, you're totally right. I meant to say
it's an ecoskeleton.
Skeleton. Echo. Oh god damn it! Exoskeleton. Jesus.
It's an exoskeleton. It's just made entirely of sound.
Also, it's very scary. You could actually program it to make you feel like you're older, which I don't know why you do that. I would only want it to turn it to 11 and like lift heavy objects and things like that.
It looks like sort of like the hybrid of of the like the mech suits from like Elysium, and also the lifter robot, the power loader from Aliens. It's like a hybrid of that, because it's about this, it's not quite exosuit that you expect from like Call of Duty, like Black Ops 2 or whatever, but it's not quite as big as power loader yet. But we're gonna get there someday.
Yeah, it's like a miniature power loader.
Yeah,
I like it. You can't type on a keyboard with it because it doesn't have articulating hands. It really just has 2 claws for hands. So we have a little bit to be desired.
It's not really a sit at the keyboard kind of thing. I know you're like, oh, I like it, but it won't help my office. It's not for that. It's not for that. I don't know why you would say, it's nice, but you can't really take a shit in it.
You're not even following my train of thought. When I say exoskeleton, I'm saying it's on me all the time. Like, I'm gonna sleep in it, I'm gonna jog in it, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna shit, everything. I'm gonna shower in it. It's gonna be me. I'm going to be.
It's gonna be part of you.
Yeah, like the skin will fuse to it, and I will be the robot. So. Yeah, so that's why I'm concerned about keyboard typing skills with my robot, Eric. Jeez. But at least voice dictation's getting there, Maybe I don't have to type anything. And then I could be like, okay, Google, text Eric. I'm going to bust open your door. And then that sends something that sounds just like it. It's like, text Eric. I'm going to blow the floor.
Yeah, it's like texting Eric. I'm gonna dust out your whore.
What the fuck? And then my robot arm punches through your doors. Crush! Crush! I walked here from Michigan with my robot legs.
See, I wouldn't be worried about that because I know you, and you'd wear it all the time to do even the most mundane things, so you'd get incredibly fat. You'd be like so morbidly obese in this thing because you don't have to use any of your muscles or ever exert any effort because your robot body does it for you. No, so you'd just be like, you'd have like the body of like Krang or something like that, but the robot outside, like it would like look like you'd be like that, like whenever there's like the 1,000-pound man, you'd be like the 1-ton man, and you'd be like that guy, but also have a robot exoskeleton.
I would be totally dependent on the robot at that point.
Yeah, you would get so fat that you literally could not move about without this robot anymore.
It doesn't even matter because I'd still be able to crush things. I would be. I guess crushing things really isn't that useful now that you're taking me off my high horse. It really would only be useful if I was moving a lot of things, or doing the same task over and over again, which I don't really do a lot of that. So it would just be fun, like it would be like the car. This is the first robot that I ever wanted, and or mech suit that I ever wanted. It's just gonna be like when I get the BMW, or when I'll have it for 4 years, I'll get sick of it, and then I'll sell it to some other person. So. Yeah, I barely used this robot suit. It looks like it has a lot of miles on. That's like you walked across the country.
And ate in it, but
that'll buff right out. It's like, it smells really bad. It's like you never took it off. Oh no. That's how they all smell. This thing, the pioneers used to ride these things for miles. Oh gosh. Yeah, so I mean, basically, you're like a slow Iron Man in this thing, right? Like it's a dream come true.
You're like Iron Man V1 in that thing, like
yeah, which is better than
Iron Man built it in a cave with a box of scraps. Iron Man.
He built it in a cave with a box of scraps. Yeah, like that, just like that. It doesn't look scary until you put the human in it. So go check it out on justcoolenough.com. I mean, this is basically the superpower I always wanted. Like, Eric, you wanted to be Batman. I just want to be robot guy.
I mean, superpower-wise, Wolverine claws.
What if you have the claws and you don't have the regeneration? You're kind of screwed.
I know. I mean, I would prefer to have both, but
if you had to pick, you would pick the claws over regeneration.
I'm just saying that, like, when I walk around in my daily life, I've tweeted this once, and it is still true. I imagine myself having Wolverine claws at least 3 times a day. I'll just be like walking by a chain link fence and just think to myself, "Shing, slice." I don't know why. I'll be like walk by a doorknob. I'll walk by a doorknob and I'll just think, shing. I don't know why. I just think about retractable claws coming out of my fist and then stabbing this door for no reason. For no reason at all.
That's so weird because I always pretend I'm in a robot suit.
Mm.
So.
I'm not saying I want them. I'm saying that's what my body wants.
Magneto would be mine. If I could have a package, Magneto's
do you
ability
ever just do you ever look at like a big piece of metal and you're just like, I bet you I can move that?
No, I do when I'm out running, though, imagine that I'm a robot. When I start to get tired, I'm like, okay, time to put my robot brains on. I'm like, okay, and I kind of shut off my, man, I'm getting tired. I'm just like, robots don't get tired. And I just keep going.
It's crazy what your brain can make your body do.
T-1000. That's what I run like. I put my hands like this, and then I start running, and people think I look like I'm fucking crazy. I'm like, I am fucking crazy, but I fucking can run fast when I do.
You're just listening to the T2 soundtrack, and then you just imagine your hands become those claws facing John Connor, like jumping on the top of like a cop car and going.
It's really weird though when you run up to people in the park and you're like, "Have you seen this boy?" And you're not actually holding a picture, and they don't know who the hell you are.
Oh, seriously, if I'm ever in an elliptical or an arc trainer, I do pretend I'm in a robot. I'm like...
He only gets like 4 feet every 20 minutes because he's also walking really slow.
No, I mean, like, I have enough weight on my own where I don't need to add the extra... Like, I just do it as fast as I can, and it's fine. But, yeah, like... It's the weirdest things that get you through, working out part, like the lulls between your like motivation spurts. That's what I'll call it. My spurt of motivation. I just need to make it to this next corner. I can do it. Okay, I'm gonna walk. Why am I walking? Okay, I need another motivation spurt. I just make it a little farther. You're a robot, Joe. You can do it. Yeah, that's the inside of my head.
I did with my robot mentality today. I went to the gym and I got on the treadmill and I ran at 5 miles an hour for 30 minutes straight.
Oh my gosh!
It was a personal best for me. So because I was like roboting the shit out of it, and I'm like, I can keep going. Robots don't stop.
What about Wolverines? How do Wolverines work out, Eric? How do men with claws?
Well, Wolverine doesn't really have to work out because of just his metabolism and his regeneration and just how old he is. Well, it depends on which Wolverine we're talking. I mean, like which era. Like I'm sure, like because before he died, like he lost his regeneration, and I'm sure that Wolverine had to work out because all that stuff, but. Yeah. But currently Wolverine is dead in the Marvel Universe.
Spoiler.
Well, it was a 10-part series a year and a half ago called The Death of Wolverine. So, spoilers?
I mean, that's just like, well, I don't want to break any other spoilers for other things, so...
They promoted it for months that they were killing off Wolverine. That's what they do in comics. Nobody's surprised when somebody dies in comics because they market it.
And they can come back.
And they always come back. Superman made sure of that.
Does anybody pretend to be Superman? Like, I know in our head we're picking all this weird, obscure stuff.
Oh, you mean in real life? Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. All over Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh yeah, okay, those guys. I want to hear from the listeners. When you pretend to be a superhero in your head, and it's okay if you're however old you are, it doesn't matter, because we're just all big man children anyway, and maybe even lady children. What do you pretend to be? Who's your like superhero idol? Because I just want to
idol because idol's my favorite hero. But like when you're like bored or like not, or just like your mind wanders. Who do you imagine like Joe just imagined himself as a robot. I just imagine myself with Wolverine claws. I don't know why that is a thing, but that's just the thing that pops in my head. What's your thing like that? Like you just imagine like, hey, well, I could talk to animals, or like I have a whip. I'm Indiana Jones. Like do you just like walking and then
like
just
if I had a whip, I'd totally turn off that light switch. Like. I don't know. It's just kind of like this idle. It's like idle thought. It's almost like daydreaming. Like what guy? In our live chat room right now, just coolenough.com/live. Blazers33X says he would be Professor X because he would choose either flying or telepathic powers like Professor X. So flying would be kind of cool.
Yeah, flying would be the power I'd want. But my like sort of subconscious mind thought is always like. Wolverine class. I don't know why.
Yeah,
That's just what pops into my head.
I think, and then Brady says Neo from the Matrix. So basically, just know everything right before it's happening, and
No, you just see you behind the veil, and you see how everything is actually made.
Well, who's that superhero from Wolf of Wall Street? What's that guy's name?
Matthew McConaughey.
yeah. The guy that does this. That's like a superpower. Anyway, guys, I think we should start wrapping it up, Eric. Why don't you do a thing?
All right. I guess my plug for this week will be you can continue to watch.
You didn't do the shtick.
What?
You didn't do the plug each other and that one.
Hey, stop giving me shit and start plugging each other, okay?
All right.
I take a week off. Okay.
1 week off.
Shit.
I airtight. We need this show to be airtight. Damn it.
Yeah, and also the transition only works if we're not already in the plug section. You're like, okay, time to plug each other.
No,
and then
I'll back it up.
Like,
Sometimes you gotta back it up to plug it, Eric. You should know that.
No, I don't know that. I don't know why I would know that. I'm gonna die alone. That's one of my favorite things about. I was at my friend Eric's wedding, and then in 6 months is my buddy Kyle's wedding. And then in 6 more months after that is my buddy Arazi's wedding. And I was like, God, I just think in a year's time, you guys will all be married and I'll die alone.
Well, that just means
Well,
there's
don't
extras
forget,
on the
like
market
14 months from now is my wedding, and you're gonna get an invite for that. So
Yeah.
you better show up so I can say I'm better than Joe.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going to go to everybody's wedding except for Joe's.
That's heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. I'm so sad.
My plug for this week is you can continue to watch the adventures of my my Dungeon World tabletop RPG group on the Saving Throw Twitch channel at twitch.tv/savingthrow or savingthrow.com. A lot of really fun stuff happened. My character became the Sorcerer King of the land of Tyr, and that's going to lead to some really crazy stuff, because I didn't think that was going to happen, but it just kind of happened. It was what I wanted to happen, but now everyone in the group is convinced, and probably rightly so, that our game will end with them all having to kill me when I go mad with power, which is honestly the most likely scenario at this point.
So where can people check that out, Eric?
That's twitch.tv/savingthrow. It's Saturdays at 12:30 Pacific Standard Time, or you can just check out savingthrow.com or the Saving Throw. It's twitch.tv/savingthrowshow, and then it's savingthrowshow.com and savingthrowshow.
Or you could just go to
YouTube.
justcooloff.com, and then Eric will put the links there in the show notes, right?
Yeah, you can watch all the goodness of that. It's been really fun.
So my plug for this week is actually one of my favorite car shows, but they don't just talk about cars on this one. Specifically, they got a non-car guy on there named what is it? Joe Walzer. And what this guy does is he has restored the time machine, the factory DeLorean that they used on Back to the Future. He's a prop guy, not a car guy. And so he's talking to car people like a prop person, and they're talking to him like a car person would talk to. It was really great. They're asking some really awesome questions. So many good tidbits about the DeLorean that they used in Back to the Future. The whole episode was about it.
Recently restored that too. Like, I remember when I first started going to Universal, it was literally just sitting outside in the back lot rotting. Like, so they're like, it's crazy.
Yeah. So Joe on this show goes through the whole kind of like backstory, and then just so many good tidbits about that car, because the car is like a character, right? Like, so there's just it's an amazing story, and he's actually coming out with a book in the next like month or so. I'll make sure to plug that when that comes out. But go check it out. It's a Smoking Tire, and it's episode 221. The episode is called Back to 1985, and you can also just get the link right on justcooloff.com. So, Ike, what's your plug this week?
My plug this week is a shout-out to Jack Move for continuing a subscription or starting one or the other. Anyway, we appreciate the money that you guys donate to the show to help us keep things running smoothly around here, keep the email monkeys working. And, so self-plug. to them.
I really
Shout out
would,
to them.
yeah. Just big shout out to Jack Move and Brady and all the longtime donators. Like, you guys are awesome, and thanks for kind of just padding things a little bit. It's really nice. So we appreciate it a lot, and maybe we'll come up with a small little goal sometime that we can actually put the money towards.
Well, I made Brady a picture I put on Facebook for him.
That was really nice. That was really cool. So I guess that's it. Good job, everybody. Thanks for listening.
You can follow me on Twitter at Duncor, DONCOR. I wanted to point at my lower third, but they stopped. Like, those don't work anymore. So
our lower thirds no longer work. That's a shame. You can follow me on Twitter at Joe Q Carr. That's JOE, the letter Q, and then CAR.
You can follow me on Twitter at Railvis. That's RAILVAS.
Stay tuned.
Next week, have a wonderful rest of the week, and fuck off.
Oh man, what are you talking about? I was gonna talk about all the stuff that we were gonna come up with just fit enough. We got a really motivating guy coming on.
Well, when you can remember to turn Alpha Geek Radio off when we're not streaming, then you can plug that shit.
Fine.